One afternoon ruined my entire life. My husband came home early, caught me with another man in our bedroom, and all I could say was, "I'm sorry." He didn't yell, he just walked out and never came back. I never thought I'd be the kind of woman to do what I did. My name's Rachel, I'm 32 years old, and I've been married to my husband, Cooper, for almost 9 years. We live in a quiet suburban neighborhood in upstate New York. Cooper works in IT, remote most of the time but occasionally goes into the city for meetings. We have a modest life, nothing flashy, but we've built it together. We even talked about having a kid next year. For the most part, our life was stable, predictable, comfortable. Then Max moved into the neighborhood. He lived just 2 houses down. Mid-30s, tall, confident in that way people carry themselves when they know they're attractive. The kind of man who didn't try too hard, he didn't need to. He drove a black motorcycle, always wore fitted shirts, and had that effortless charm that made people stop and notice. Including me. The first time he talked to me, I was out walking our dog. He said something casual, asked about Cooper after seeing us together once. Then, almost as an afterthought, he asked if I wanted to grab coffee sometime. I laughed awkwardly and told him I was married. He smiled and said, "Right, I figured. Just thought I'd ask." I brushed it off at the time. Told Cooper about it like it was nothing, even made a joke about it. But over time, Max kept showing up. Outside the grocery store. Walking around the block, shirtless in the summer. We'd make eye contact. He'd smile. I'd pretend not to care. But I did care. I started noticing things I hadn't noticed in a while. Like how I didn't really dress up for Cooper anymore. How I couldn't remember the last time he looked at me the way Max did. Not because he didn't love me, but because life got in the way. We got used to each other. Things became routine. Max, though? Max made me feel something I hadn't felt in years. Desired. Exciting. Wanted. He kept asking. Little comments here and there. "Still too married for that coffee." Or, "You always look good in blue, Rachel." I'd always say no. At least for the first few weeks. But I won't lie. Every time I said no, it felt weaker. And slowly, something shifted. I began thinking about him when I wasn't supposed to. I'd scroll through his social media, watch him from the window when he jogged past our house. I knew it was wrong. God, I knew it. But knowing something is wrong doesn't always stop you from doing it. I didn't talk to anyone about it. Not Cooper. Not friends. I just kept it buried. But the heart is stupid. One morning, Cooper left early for work. He kissed me on the cheek, told me he'd be late. I nodded, half listening. As soon as the door closed behind him, I sat on the couch and just stared into space. Then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Still thinking about that coffee. I should have deleted it, blocked the number. But I didn't. I replied, "Maybe." And just like that, the first line was crossed. That's how it started. Just a look, a thought, a message. Now I wish I had stopped right there. But I didn't. Would love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had a moment where you knew you were making a mistake, but kept going anyway? Why do we do that to ourselves? After I replied, "Maybe," I waited for a response, half hoping he wouldn't text back. But of course, Max did. 10 minutes later, my phone lit up again. "I'll be around tomorrow afternoon if you want to talk." Just talk. No pressure. I stared at that message for a long time. My hands were sweating. It felt like high school again, only I was a married woman, not some flustered teenager. The difference now was that I had everything to lose, and I was playing with fire anyway. I didn't tell Max anything at first. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. But the idea of being alone with him took root in my mind and refused to leave. The next morning, Cooper left for work again, early like always. It was a Thursday. I remember because we usually ordered takeout that night and watched old sitcoms on the couch. But that day, I wasn't thinking about takeout or TV. I was thinking about Max. I put on makeup, more than usual. I curled my hair, chose a dress I hadn't worn in months, something Cooper once said made me look like the woman I fell in love with. I didn't wear it for Cooper that day. I wore it for Max. Looking back, I don't even know what I was hoping for. Maybe I just wanted to feel attractive again. Maybe I wanted to know that someone could still want me in that way. But whatever I told myself, I knew I was lying. I wasn't just talking. I texted Max around noon. "You can come over now. Just for a little bit." He replied instantly, "On my way." When I opened the door, he looked surprised. Almost stunned. Like he didn't expect me to actually go through with it. For a second, he didn't say anything. Just looked at me. "You look incredible," he said finally. We sat on the couch and talked. About work, about the neighborhood, about nothing that really mattered. There was tension in the air, heavy and unavoidable. I could feel it between us, growing with every glance, every pause. I tried to remind myself I had a husband, a home, a life, but my mind was somewhere else. Then it just happened. I didn't plan it. I didn't even want to believe it was happening until it already had. But one moment we were talking, and the next he leaned in and kissed me. I didn't pull away. I kissed him back. Everything after that moved fast. I could tell you I hesitated, that I tried to stop, but I didn't. I let it happen. Fully. I didn't think about Cooper, or what this would mean, or the damage it would cause. For those few hours, I shut everything else out and chose what I wanted in that moment. But moments end, and consequences come whether you're ready or not. It was around 3 p.m. I remember glancing at the clock. Max and I were still in the bedroom. I thought I had more time before Cooper came home. He wasn't supposed to be back until 6, but then I heard the front door open. Keys. The sound of shoes hitting the hardwood. The familiar jingle of Cooper's work badge as he walked in. And in that split second, everything collapsed. I froze when I heard the door. Max looked at me, confused. "Is that?" I didn't answer. My heart was pounding, so loud it felt like it was echoing through the house. I jumped up, scrambling to put on my clothes. Max reached for his shirt. I told him to stay quiet, but it was too late. Cooper had a key. He always did. And in a matter of seconds, he was inside the house, calling my name. "Rachel!" His voice was calm at first. Just a little confused, like maybe he forgot something and came back early. Then I heard his footsteps coming down the hall, slower, like something wasn't sitting right with him. He was close. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't hide Max. There wasn't time. The bedroom door was half shut. Cooper opened it without knocking. And there we were. Me, barely dressed. Max, standing beside the bed, looking like a deer caught in headlights. Everything stopped. Cooper just stood there, blinking, not speaking. Like his brain couldn't process what he was seeing. Then he said it, quiet but sharp. "Who the hell is this?" I opened my mouth, but I didn't have words. Nothing came out except a whisper. "I'm so sorry." He stared at me, then at Max, then back at me. That silence, those few seconds, felt like someone slowly taking a knife and pressing it into the heart of everything we built together. I'll never forget the look on his face. It wasn't rage. It wasn't even pain. It was disappointment, pure and absolute. Cooper didn't scream. He didn't hit anything. He just looked like a man who realized he didn't know the person he married anymore. "We have a family, Rachel," he said, his voice shaking. "We have a life. I have done nothing but love you. I gave you everything I thought you wanted. Everything." I tried to walk toward him. "Please, Cooper, No, he held up his hand. "Just stop." Max tried to say something too, but Cooper cut him off without even looking at him. "Get the hell out of my house." Max left. Quickly. I stood there, barely dressed, shaking. "We can talk about this. It was a mistake." "That's the problem, Rachel. You call it a mistake like you tripped and fell into him. But this took choices. Opening the door. Letting him in. Don't reduce what you did to a single mistake." Then he threw me out of his home and told me never to come to him again. That was the last time I saw Cooper. He didn't answer my texts. He didn't take my calls. A few days later, I got a message from a lawyer. Divorce papers followed soon after. He didn't fight. Didn't ask for anything. It's been months now. I'm living alone. No friends left. Really, most of them were mutual and stopped talking to me. My family doesn't ask questions, but the judgment in their eyes says everything. Max, he's gone. Moved out a few weeks after. We never spoke again. I ruined everything because I wanted to feel wanted for one afternoon. I traded years of love, trust, and life for a few hours of temporary attention. And I'd give anything, to go back and undo it. But I can't. That's the thing about betrayal. Once it happens, there's no going back. What do you think? Would you have forgiven me if you were Cooper? Or is some damage just permanent? I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.